You want to take things that look like this and make them look like this for your part storage? Stick around and I'll show you how I do it. Well, hello, this is Scott. Welcome to my life's reward. Have you ever been working on something around the house, whether it might be your ATV quad side by side or something else, like maybe a canoe or a boat trailer or something, and you needed a part and you know you had it, whether it's a screw, bolt, or some specialized part, tail light, or something like that? It's somewhere, but you're not sure where it's at. And sometimes it's just easier to go to the store and buy it again. And when you buy these parts, you know that, especially the smaller ones, it's never just one and you only needed one. You get 3, 4, 5. They make you buy them in little bunches. And then you're just like, okay, where does this go now? And it's just exponential. It just keeps going. There's a great YouTube channel out there. It's Boss of the Swamp. And this gentleman, really smart guy. And he builds cabins and he does things with cabins as he's learned over multiple cabin builds, how to do things, what works, what keeps rodents out, whether they're mice, ants, or other things, how to smartly use space. Well, he put a video out on how he stores little parts, so whether they're screws, nails, whatever they are. And he came up with a system and he saved his Folgers coffee containers over time. They're plastic. I believe they're square being a little bit more efficient on space than round. And then he put some perimeter shelving around close to the ceiling of his work area. And he just has these containers, numbered them, and puts them around in space that's not otherwise used. And then he puts his parts in these containers. And then he has a through ring binder and he adds it to the list. And then when he needs it, he just goes to his list, looks up the thing that he needs, and then it points him to one of those Folger cans or whatever he's using. And he has it. And then when he has extra parts that he needs to store, he either puts it in an existing container that already has like items, or he puts it into an empty one, a brand new one, or an available one that doesn't have anything in it, and then he adds it to the list. A paper list isn't going to work well for me because I'm just going to have pages and pages, and it's going to be really difficult for me to find all the different entries that I might have. So Jim, the guy, the friend that I ride with his side-by-side, his Honda Pioneer. In the mid-90s, he showed me a file system that he uses, and he labels file folders in sequences of 3 like this. He puts those in batches of 3 in a hanging folder, and then that just goes into a drawer. And those folders are numbered, let's say in this case, it's 1, 2, 3. And then those entries are put in a database, and whatever is stored in those folders can then be described in an entry in the database. And as that paperwork becomes not needed anymore, you can just discard it, shred it, throw it away, whatever. And that opens up that file. You just blank that entry out, and it's available for something new in the future. Well, I thought I'd do something similar, and I'd combine Jim's system with Boss of the Swamp system. So I would get various size containers and number those or label those in some way, and then make entries in a spreadsheet, which I've done. And so now what I can do is I can put the parts that I have, whether it's anything from a small, several small screws that might go into a small tilt bin type of a plastic storage like this, to a tote, or even I could even do, whole shelves or even large spaces, I just need to just label those so I know what those are. What I do is, let's say that I'm in the middle of a project or something, and I know that I need, let's say, a plastic rivet for my quad because I just got done taking some of the plastic sides off and I ruined the little push rivets on my phone. And I would go into my spreadsheet, search on rivet, the word rivet, and it might find 5 entries because I do have not only the plastic rivets for the push pin rivets for the ATV side by side quad type thing, but I also have metal rivets that I use like for my canoes or other things. And it might bring up 2 or 3 finds, and then I would just hit the arrow to say go to the first one. Oh, that's not it. Go to the second. Oh, there it is. And then it would give me the location, and I would just simply go to it, pull it off the shelf, and get the part that I needed or the multiple pieces, and I'm done. So I didn't have to go to the store, didn't have to buy something else. So the way I start here is I might collect a bunch of things, and you can see that like on this desk here. I have a whole bunch of things that I just kind of have laid out. And then I also have a tote underneath with a bunch of plumbing parts in it. And these are the ways that I would start. Here's another table full of stuff that may or may not end up in storage. I might just either get rid of some of these things or give them away, give them the goodwill, whatever. But these things, they just tend to collect over time. And then we just kind of have a tendency to just put them someplace. Well, if I take a few hours and go through this stuff and I already have storage locations for some of these things, or I have empty spaces to put the new stuff in and just make the entry and it's there and it's done. And then when I need it in the future, I can find it pretty easily. So this is the layout of my shop area. I have the shelving cabinets up top that I put tools in and supplies. I will probably eventually label these so I can find things so it's easier because I find myself looking through these shelves a lot. It's like, well, where did I put the extra wire brushes or gloves or a cleaner or something? And I end up opening multiple cabinets. It just might be easier for me to treat these the same way. And then this is the result of all of the work of organizing. I have these tilt bins. I try to use all the space that's otherwise unused. So underneath the cabinets, but above the pegboard, by the way, this isn't really pegboard, it's wall control. It's called wall control. If you just go out to a website or Google and search for wall control, you can find that product. Amazon sells it. It's nice because the pegs don't fall out like they do on a regular pegboard. It isn't cheap, but it's nice when you pull tools off that the stuff doesn't fall off with it, the hooks. I have these tilt bins on the floor here that will eventually go up in the wall as soon as I put more OSB up on the wall here. And then I have these tilt bins over here on either side of the window that makes use of some wall space. And then up above, where you don't really tend to access a lot of stuff, there's closet made shelving that I have up here, and I purchased these plastic jar things that are square. I wanted to make sure they were square so they could get tight up against each other, so I can maximize the space. And I bought various sizes, the smaller to the very, very large, so I could fit different kinds of parts. And I have this shelving over here where I store some tools and various things. I also have these red milk crate type things that are basket things that I eventually am going to build a workbench and then have these be slides, like drawers that slide in and out. And then here's another example of where additional plastic jar type containers are, various sizes. And then even these kitty litter containers, I've marked those to store little bigger items. I just haven't really figured out a place to put them yet, so they're just hanging on a nail. And then down below here, I have these large tote bins that take the larger stuff, even the larger stuff that doesn't fit elsewhere. And I put them in these tote bins. I'd be happy to answer your questions. The systems work very well for me. And if it's something that you want to do, maybe it can help you. So credits go to Jim, my friend, who gave me the idea on the file system, and the YouTube channel, Boss of the Swamp. Very nice person, very nice man, very smart guy. And I don't want to, this is just a variation of his idea, and I want to make sure that he is recognized for his, that I'm not trying to steal his idea. So, and with that, thank you for stopping by the channel. Until next week, take care.